Over the past few decades, China has embarked on an ambitious journey to transform its military capabilities. Central to this transformation is a strategy that emphasizes rapid industrialization, often achieved by studying, adapting, and sometimes directly replicating foreign military technologies. This approach has enabled the People's Liberation Army to field advanced systems at an unprecedented pace. The Shenyang J-11 began as a licensed production of Russia's Su-27 flanker. However, China eventually transitioned to producing unlicensed variants, incorporating domestic avionics and weapon systems. This move strained relations with Russia, which accused China of violating intellectual property agreements. China's J-15 Flying Shark is a carrier-based fighter developed from an unfinished Su-33 prototype acquired from Ukraine. Through reverse engineering, China adapted the design for its own naval aviation needs, marking a significant step in its carrier aviation capabilities. The Chengdu J-20 Mighty Dragon is China's foray into fifth-generation stealth fighters. Observers noticed resemblance to the US F-22, particularly in its airframe design and stealth features. Allegations have surfaced suggesting that cyber espionage may have played a role in its development. The Shenyang FC-31, also known as the J-31 Falcon, is another Chinese stealth fighter that bears similarities to the US F-35. Notably, both aircraft utilize a diverterless supersonic inlet design. The FC-31 represents China's efforts to develop a versatile stealth fighter for both domestic use and potential export. China's HQ-9 surface-to-air missile system combines elements from Russia's S-300 and the US Patriot systems. This hybrid approach has resulted in a long-range air defense system capable of engaging various aerial threats, reflecting China's strategy of integrating foreign technologies into its defense infrastructure. The Type 726A Landing Craft Air Cushion (LCAC) is China's answer to the US Navy's LCAC, designed for rapid deployment of troops and equipment from ship to shore. The Type 726A enhances the amphibious capabilities of the People's Liberation Army Navy, showcasing China's focus on power projection. The Chengdu J-7 is a Chinese-built version of the Soviet MiG-21, one of the most widely produced jet fighters in history. In the early 1960s, China obtained technical data and kits for the MiG-21 F-13. However, due to incomplete documentation and deteriorating Sino-Soviet relations, Chinese engineers undertook significant efforts to reverse engineer and produce the aircraft domestically. The J-7 became a mainstay of the People's Liberation Army Air Force and was exported to numerous countries, marking China's entry into the global fighter market. China's HQ-17 is a short-range mobile surface-to-air missile system developed as a derivative of Russia's Tor-M1. After acquiring several Tor-M1 units in the late 1990s, China sought to produce the system domestically. When licensing negotiations with Russia failed, Chinese engineers reverse-engineered the system, resulting in the HQ-17. The Chinese version features modifications such as a new radar system and improved electronics, tailored to the requirements of the PLA. In the 1980s, China sought to enhance its mechanized infantry capabilities. To achieve this, it acquired the Soviet BMP-1 infantry fighting vehicle from Egypt. Chinese engineers meticulously reverse-engineered the BMP-1, resulting in the development of the Type 86 IFV. While closely resembling its Soviet predecessor, the Type 86 featured modifications tailored to the needs of the People's Liberation Army, including a light chassis and a domestically produced diesel engine. Initially intended for export, the Type 86 was eventually adopted by the PLA in the early 1990s, marking a significant step in China's efforts to modernize its ground forces through the adaptation of foreign military technology. The Xi'an Y-20 is China's first domestically developed strategic airlifter, bearing a notable resemblance to the US Air Force C-17 Globemaster III. In the early 2000s, a Chinese-born engineer in the US was convicted of transferring sensitive aerospace documents, including those related to the C-17, to China. Shortly thereafter, development of the Y-20 accelerated. With its substantial payload capacity and range, the Y-20 enhances China's ability to project power and respond to humanitarian crises globally. In warfare, there are no participation trophies. Power is measured in capabilities, in range, in speed, in stealth, and in steel. And over the past 40 years, China has turned military mimicry into an industrial art form, from jet fighters reverse engineered from old Soviet airframes, to stealth designs that echo the silhouettes of American giants, to air defense systems cobbled together from east and west. The People's Liberation Army has surged forward not with original blueprints, but with a borrowed past, refurbished, rearmed, and repainted in red. This isn't accidental, it's policy. Copying foreign military hardware allows China to leapfrog the costly and time-consuming stages of research and prototyping. And while the ethics of intellectual theft spark outrage in Washington and Moscow, Beijing sees it as a form of strategic inevitability, the great equalizer in a game rigged by decades of Western advantage. But here's the question that lingers like the vapor trail of a J-20. Can imitation sustain military dominance? Or will the real test come not on blueprints and factory floors, but in the chaos of the next great conflict? Because copying a jet is one thing, matching its performance under fire, that's another entirety. The answer may not come in the headlines or military parades. It may come from a conflict that most of us do not want to happen.